Welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm here with my two regular co-hosts.
It's me, JV.
Why are you smiling at me, strolling it?
I'm just in a singing mood, innit?
Oh, you're in a happy mood, yeah.
Extreezy the Weezy.
Yeah. If my team was 22 points clear as well, I'd be as happy as he is. You feel me? But it is what it is. But let's get into it. Let's talk about your enemies, actually. I like them still. Because, they're the ops, innit? But the ops of my ops is my friend. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like Everton and Evertonians, you feel me? But obviously they won at the weekend. What was the score again?
3-1.
3-1. I was going to say 3-1, but I had no confidence in saying it. But yeah, so they won 3-1. And let's just talk about their upturn under Ancelotti. Is anybody surprised?
Nah, Ancelotti's a great manager.
Yeah, well, class, man.
Like, this is what I'm saying.
Is if you do a table, he's what? Top, I'd say top 5.
Yeah, easily in the top 10.
Arguably top 3.
You could argue top 3.
You could argue top 3.
Especially when you see what he's won.
Yeah, and if he has won everything. This guy's won Champions Leagues. He's won Serie A's. He's won Premier Leagues. Did he win an FA Cup when he was there as well at Chelsea?
La Liga, fam.
Yeah.
I forgot that he won
Madrid.
I forgot, that he was at Madrid.
He was at the start of that when Zidane did all that.
I forgot that he was there.
Zidane was his number 2.
I can't remember if Mourinho won the title there or not, but he was one of the ones that won it after a couple of years.
Yes, I think Mourinho did win one.
Didn't he win it? He won it and got sacked, didn't he, Ancelotti?
Was he one of those that
Yeah.
That's the problem with Real Madrid, but yeah.
Yeah, Real Madrid, cause I know they've done that before. They did it to, I think, was it Del Bosque? I think they did it to.
Yeah.
Like when Beckham went there, like you're talking years ago.
Galacticos.
Yeah, Galactico time.
Original Galacticos.
The original Galacticos. So yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, like you say, great manager. And I'm not shocked. I think they have, in terms of form, I think their last 6-7 games, they're second in the form table, only behind Liverpool. Literally. And when he came, people were talking about them in relegation. Now we're talking about, can they make Europa League top 7?
Do you know what it is, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Any one of them footballers in that changing room, yeah?
Yeah.
That would have got announced, Ancelotti, yeah? And say you was dead young. Mm-hmm. So say you're a really young player. Like, I don't know, your Calvert-Lewins we'll get onto, your Mason Holgates. They're quite young, early 20s, isn't it? Mm-hmm. They will probably not remember what he's done. True. They might have gone home, done their homework and thought, and realised that serious boss man is in town. They're probably thinking, if I'm never going to get to a huge club, I've got a huge club manager right here.
That's true, that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
He's one of them. He's miles bigger than... He's one of them that's bigger than a club. You get certain players and certain managers who are bigger than certain clubs. He is the epitome of that. Yeah. Because I'm still shocked he went there. And now it makes you take Everton more serious.
I'm not... You know why I'm not shocked?
Go on.
Because I've said this for a very long time. Everton have always had a good squad. And it's always just going to be the right person to get it out of him. For years, I believe back when even... when
Moyes was there, you're talking about...
Yeah, they had a good squad.
He did.
Cahill, your Arteta, do you know what I mean? Your Saha. Yeah. They've always had a good backbone.
You know what? Legit, I forgot Saha was there as well.
Do you get what I'm saying? They've always had a good backbone.
And they had the type of... Because their fans don't expect much. It's different when... The reason why it worked for Moyes there and not United is because the level of expectation is so different. Yeah. Because like you said, he had the Cahills, he had Leighton Baines, Stephen P&R, those type of players.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Your Coleman.
Yeah,
you know
Coleman.
So
you had them.
Look at that. That's a good spine.
It is a good. That's a solid squad.
Do you get what I'm saying? Even the squad now is mirroring that, but probably with a bit. It's not probably. It is. It's got a bit more quality. They've got more off the bench. They have a little bit more off because they have a little more, like you said, a little bit more flair. That's what I would say. Yeah. Because even the goal that Bernard scored, the volley, that's a quality finish. That's a quality finish. That's a quality half
finish.
Volley. That's
a quality finish. Was it a half volley? I thought it was a full volley.
Technique.
I was like
side foot. You know them side foot volleys.
That's hard to side.
I used to play. You know, you used to play heads and volleys back in the day. A man tried to tell you that's not a volley because it's not laces. You know what I mean? That's one of them volleys. You get what I'm saying? That is
one of them. But I seen the cross from Walcott, and I was like, that's a great cross.
All right, then just look at Walcott, bro.
Yeah,
man would have said Walcott's done out here, brown bread. He's coming. He's got a bit of a revival.
Here's the thing, though. We said this, and we're starting to see it more so and more so and more so. Players who are limited in terms of just individual, in terms of just ability. You put them in the correct system, you can get more out of them.
Yeah.
And Walcott comes under that. Lingard's like that too. Yeah. Like there's certain players. And Everton, I was looking at their squad, I'm like, none of their squad are spectacular players, but a lot of them are, you put them in the correct system, they'll be okay.
They're all like the same
similar levels.
Yeah,
the
do you
likes
get what
of
I mean?
the likes of Sigurdsson. He was
Yeah.
at Swansea when they got him, and he has looked terrible since he went there. Now he's gone under Ancelotti. It's like you can get the best out of him because you can see he's technically a great baller.
We've always known he's got the tech.
Yeah, tech is same with what's his case? What's his face? When I seen his numbers, I was like, rah. Calvert-Lewin. This guy's got 8 goals in 11 games.
There
I'm
you
like,
go, bro.
when did Calvert-Lewin become prolific striker?
That's for an English striker as well. With the shortage what they got at the moment, he's knocking on the door to go Euros.
Man has 8 and 11. I think he had under Silva. It was like 9 in the last 42.
There you go.
So I'm like, how is this guy come prolific, so prolific? But people look at Martial and say Martial's the problem when Lewin don't even have half the talent he has.
Nah, you don't.
Nah,
but you see, go on.
On the flip side, so obviously systems help.
Yeah,
They do help.
massively.
But
Go on.
it's man management
True.
more than anything. So for example, you can put a certain player in a system which might be suited to him, but if they're not there mentally, if they're not fully at it, if they're down in the dumps, if they're having a bad form and everything's going against them, because obviously one thing that we forget as fans is these are
People.
normal people.
Yeah.
They have real life situations, they've got families, they've got kids, they've got all other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's like we forget that. So then you need a manager with experience to bring the best out of him. If I'm Calvert-Lewin, there's no one I want more than Carlo Ancelotti in that to guide me, to pull me, saying, look, I've been watching, you're doing this. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you making that kind of movement? Because that will get you more goals. Why aren't you making that kind of run? Because then that creates space for the likes of Sigurdsson to get on the ball and make him look better. Little things like that, and this is what I mean about when I first found out that Ancelotti was going Everton.
Yeah.
From a Liverpool standpoint, I was thinking, I can see them nicking a win at Anfield now for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's an unbelievable.
I thought it was paper talk at first. Do you know what I mean?
It was as silly as the Richarlison Barcelona offer. I looked at it like that. Like I'm like, why would someone of Ancelotti's caliber, even though he's kind of like on the final stretch and the final road of his managerial career, why would you go to Everton?
Because the thing,
But I suppose he's probably looking at a retirement plan. The expectation level is nowhere near
I don't
where it
think
is.
it's that, you know.
You don't think it's a retirement plan?
No,
I think
I'll-
it's
I'll-
squad.
I'll-
Think about it.
Go on.
Squad. Millionaire owner.
True that. You reckon
what
he's trying
I'm
to build something there like
Nah,
that?
so check.
I honestly think it's going to be. Sorry,
on.
1 second. I think, and this is where a lot of the credit has to go. It has to go to Big Dunk.
Yeah.
Duncan Ferguson. Yeah.
He did bits when he came in.
He did bits when he came in, but if
Yeah.
you notice, Ancelotti's not kicked him. He's not kicked him
him
out and said, "You're gone." He's retained his blueprint.
Yeah.
Duncan's blueprint and built on it.
True.
But I honestly believe that he might get them to a place, do his thing, get them to Europe. He could easily win them a Europa League, an FA
1000%.
Cup, you know, this
1000%.
type of things here, League Cup, easily.
Kind of like, even though it's different, it's very similar to him coming into there in terms of winning a trophy with with Mourinho at Spurs.
Yeah.
Like, he's coming there to win him a trophy. Same way if Ancelotti comes in and wins Everton, like you said, a FA Cup, a Europa League. He's a legend there.
Yeah.
They'll probably build a statue outside the
is what I
stadium
mean.
because of him, especially
Everton-
if he wins the Europa League.
He'll set all that up there, and I honestly think that'll go back to Big Dunk. I
Big
honestly
Dunk could
think-
be because he's under his wing and everything.
Yeah,
Who
he's
better
learning.
to learn from than
He's
Ancelotti?
learning. Come on, he could be serious. He could be a serious problem after learning with my man for years. You know.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So,
He could be. Go on.
let's be completely honest. Before money came into it, before everything, Everton are a sleeping giant. Everton are one of the biggest clubs in England.
Yeah.
Before the money came in, they were
Yeah.
a bigger club than Chelsea, a lot bigger club than City. They were a bigger club at Arsenal at one point.
Yeah, because aren't
Like-
they? Sorry to cut you off. I think they won the 4th most
Yeah.
English league titles.
Yeah.
They're fourth.
And
What is it? Never been relegated. I'm sure it's them, innit?
Everton have never been relegated.
Yeah, they've never been relegated.
But not just that, they've not won a trophy since 1995.
yeah.
Right.
True.
Now, this is the thing. For them, this might not be Ancelotti's going to be there 10, 15 years like a Wenger or Fergie, stuff like that. But the foundation this man is going to lay leaves it perfectly for whoever takes over. Whether it's, like you said, Duncan Ferguson, whether it's someone else. Everton, they're moving into the new stadium.
True.
They've got the owners.
They have the backing. That's
They've
one
got
thing.
the money.
I want to see him be backed.
Do you know what it is with their purchases as well?
Yeah.
They kind of, I'd say 80% of the time their purchases are spot on.
Yeah, because normally that's a place where players go to put themselves in the shop window to be picked up by a bigger club.
Yeah,
that's
to
why
find themselves.
Yeah,
kinda,
to find themselves and be like, I'm here.
Get some playing time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
Show what I can do.
But,
Yeah, and no disrespect to Everton, if you fall off, that's the place you go to show.
Yeah, but that's
all
what
right,
we
I can
were
do
at
bits.
one point.
Iwobi, Walcott, that type of player.
Yeah, but we were that at one point. Before Klopp came in, that's what we were. People were coming to us because they were like, oh, Liverpool.
Suarez is.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, Barcelona will pick me up. Coutinho, Barcelona will pick me up.
Yeah, Xavi
Now
Alonso,
it's different.
Mascherano,
but
etc.
that takes a manager with a vision who's good enough to execute it. Ancelotti is that.
Yeah, and it's just his like we stated at the very beginning, just his reputation alone, just what he's won. Like he's won so much that I forgot that he was in Spain.
You know why? 'Cause
He's
it's
also been in
literally
Germany.
It's literally from when we're babies.
When we're babies till now, he's still been winning
You know what I'm
trophies.
saying?
Yeah.
So to look at so this is what I was saying, or what I was trying to make the point of the other day. So for example, you put CVs together, right? Ancelotti's is perfect. So for example, if you're an experienced player in that dressing room and you hear Ancelotti coming in, you hear him talking, you're going to listen because you respect everything he says.
word.
Whereas the problem Lampard's got now is because some of the players who were classed as senior players in Chelsea have played with him, so they're like, well, wait a minute, I was on the same level that you not too long ago.
So it's kind of like they look at you like we're still teammates and we're still friends rather than you're the boss now.
Yeah, because you look at the results and that's probably one thing which won't get talked about, but one thing he will be experiencing.
I hear that. No, I hear what you're saying. Because even here, because they said, I don't know how true this stat is, I don't know, but this is from Twitter, it was saying December the 4th, 2019, Everton were 18th for staying in the relegation zone. February the 8th, Everton are 7th in the Premier League table and 5 points off 4th spot. So is it inconceivable? If we're talking about Sheffield United as Champions League contenders, which we will get into in terms of qualifying for the Champions League, Everton have to be in that same boat then, considering they have a better manager and they have the players in between the squads, there ain't much in it.
I think next season they could be top 4 for the.
Yeah, I think
they could be top 4 this season.
No, I don't know if they'll have enough games, but I'm saying next season with the players he could attract.
That's true. With the players, because he's got that black book where it's like,
but
he can go and pick up.
Yeah, but not even that. So the thing with Ancelotti is a lot of his is a bit similar to Redknapp. A lot of his former players.
Yeah.
So where's he just come from?
Napoli.
Mertens.
That's what I'm saying.
He's always wanted to move to the Premier League.
He's out of contract.
And he's out of contract and he's getting on a bit, but he can still do a job.
That's perfect for him.
And then do not be surprised, because no one else has seemed to have done it, if they turn around and go, we'll make a go at Koulibaly.
Oh, yeah, because Koulibaly's there as well. And then we don't know what players in terms of Napoli's youth system he's seeing.
Yeah.
His links at AC Milan.
Like we said, even
the Italian
players,
nationals.
You know, like a squad player at AC, a squad player at Juventus, at Inter, Napoli.
He's a first teamer over here at Everton.
And
considering how weak the league is, and we don't know how much it's going to improve next season, they could be, because they could make a late charge for it. Considering they're only 5 points off top 4, Chelsea are very inconsistent. We don't know about Sheffield United yet, which we'll get into. We know of United's troubles. We know of Arsenal's troubles. We know of Wolves. Like, Wolves will be in the same boat as them. Can you make it? But these are definitely now, think of 5 points off top 4, they're definitely in contention for the Champions League. This place is definitely, that 4th spot is all it is. Somebody just has to put a run together.
And you know what a lot of I think of it comes down to as well? It's that throwback formation.
What, 4-4-2?
And he played it at Napoli.
Yeah, it's starting to come in.
But you know what he's got? He plays a 4-4-2, but they're very interchangeable. I think that's what confuses.
Because 4-4-2 is seen as, I think you mentioned it when you were talking about parking the bus last week.
Yeah.
It's seen as like unpopular and like old-fashioned and rigid. 4-4-2 is like that, but people forget 4-4-2, if you have 2 strikers, 2 flying wingers and a midfielder that gets in the box, that's basically a front 5.
Yeah.
That's a front 5.
Yeah, but not even that though. Yeah, they're playing a 4-4-2, but they've got Richarlison who's got a footballing brain. So when they're defending, it just goes to a 2 and a 1. So it's like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Which is what and for example, you look at, and I know this because of the Champions League final, but you look at the team he had with AC Milan, that's how they played it.
Yeah, literally.
He had Gattuso, Pirlo, Kaká just in front of him. Serginho, left back, Cafu right back, the 2 unbelievable centre backs, Then they had Crespo up there, who normally could drop in. Kaka could
And
go
he had
to the right.
Inzaghi of Crespo.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. So then them two, one of them could go into the 10, the other one would go as a 9. Then, for example, if they do that, Kaka would then move to the left or move to the right. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
he knows how to get the best out of certain players and certain systems.
And completely off topic because you mentioned Kaka. Did you two man see the clip of him
my
playing in London?
days. You see Kaka
You see Kaka playing
Yo,
in
you
the
don't
See,
pitch?
man, like, pass.
Pass the Kaka, you know.
He was
Whacked
playing.
it in the top corner, you know.
Yo, he was
Imagine
playing.
that.
He was playing with Hackney Wick. So obviously, shout out to Hackney Wick. Like, shout out to all the YouTube teams. But yeah,
Yeah, big
like,
up all the YouTube teams and everyone supporting. Shout out to Kaka for doing that in the end.
Yo,
Kaka,
shout
come on
out
the
Kaka
show.
for coming to the
Someone
ends.
tell, I don't know if you know anyone from Hackney Wicks. Yo, Kaka, come on the show, man.
Yeah,
you could do
man.
with that. You know, we trying to sort out. We
Real
just put it out there
Brazilian.
in the universe.
Not no bargain bin Brazilian. A
Get
real
Kaka on the
Brazilian.
show. We'll talk about it. I just wanted to say that. Put it top bins. And then shout out the guy as well who megged him. Put that on your
Oh
CV.
my God, that
Put
is a
on your
story for
CV.
life.
Yo, I'd be going
I would have a kid tomorrow just to be able to tell someone that story. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'd be going on a tour. Like,
Definitely.
Bro, man, I write a book about
Yeah,
that.
man, definitely.
The day I met Kaka.
Definitely, 1000%. But yeah, back onto the topic of conversation. Yeah, that 4-4-2 because that's the one thing there. Which goal was it? The Everton goal. It was Richarlison's goal.
Excellent
and
finish.
Calvert-Lewin flicked it on, and I was like, that's a proper throwback goal. Long ball.
Yeah.
Flick on
Yeah.
from the striker. Man runs through and scores.
The arched run. You know what I'm saying?
But although it looks like it's a throwback, it is.
Yeah.
That's a drilled goal.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So obviously we're going to touch upon it when we talk about the Fred comments, but you see the difference when you've got a team that's well drilled, well oiled, and you know exactly what the jobs are
Exactly
on
that.
the ball and off the ball, compared to teams that don't have that. Like, that makes a big difference. The slightest
Massive.
thing in games, and it'll just turn it on its head and you've got to win a game off
That's
it.
a throwback back to Big Dunk as well.
Yeah,
because that's
he's,
something.
he's like that. Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
even that flick on.
That's him.
That's him.
Yeah, because that's what they had. They had
Do you
him
know
and
what I
Kevin
mean?
Campbell, and one of
Yeah.
them would drop deep, flick the ball, and the other one would go long.
see,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they both could.
Actually playing in pairs.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and that's the
cool.
point I'm making, because that's what Ancelotti does. One of them will go long, one of them will come thing. But the thing is, the two of them who play up front, you've got to be able to swap and change. One of you will have to
and
go
that's
into the
why,
10.
like you said, the 4-4-2 is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
It's overlooked.
It's one of them. If you get it right with the right manager, the right players, then it can definitely work. It's, there's no formation that can't work.
All right,
if you got the right
just
players.
think of great Arsenal team. Theirs was a 4-4-2.
Yeah, that was a 4-4-2.
United was a 4-4-2.
People forget this.
Before like
It was Mourinho who came in and changed
before
it.
I was going to say that before
It was Mourinho
Chelsea
came.
coming in and with that 4-3-3, everyone was 4-4-2.
But
Yeah,
Leicester
it was.
won the league with a 4-4-2.
You might
That's true.
exactly.
They did.
4-4-2 and that same tactic. A flick on to the fast striker.
To the
Do you get
fast
what I'm
striker.
saying? So you know
like
what I
like
mean?
you said last week, maybe we are in it. Maybe we've cracked it.
Yo, man, I'm telling you, man. You know,
Maybe we cracked it. Maybe we cracked it.
Man's
That's a
cracked
reference
this
to the
football
past
thing.
show. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do that. We do that a lot to anybody listening in or watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or iTunes. We do that a lot on this show where we'll be like, oh, when we said this the last show. So make sure you check out
We
the
make
shows.
bare sense, but you have to have watched the past shows.
Yeah, yeah. For
And
us
if you have just like clocked onto us now, by all means, get onto the previous shows, Spotify, Apple Music. We'll sort out all them links at the end. But
And I also want to say, we'll just do this mid-roll as well. Salute to everybody who tunes in and supports, because it's been mad, like people reaching out to me. So whether you're an
Reaching out to
active
me.
supporter, like you're vocal with it, or you're a silent listener, we appreciate it a lot. Whether you're in the UK, or I know we international as well, innit? So
Yeah.
thank
Big
you.
Belgium.
especially these silent listeners who replicate what we're saying on more notable media platforms, i.e. Sky Sports. But yeah,
That's
it's all love. It's all love.
It's all love. But yeah, let's go into Fred's comments now. When I seen it, I was like, I've said it many a time on the show, I'm a big fan of Fred, call him FredX, all of that. I'm never a fan of publicly going out against your team and your teammates, because I'm like, I don't see how it helps. It can only add fuel to the fire. And I hope if him coming out, he said these things to his teammates or whoever he's talking about. So we'll go through his comments to see what he's talking about. Man just has to pull him up here, innit?
Yeah.
He said, we are lacking a lot right now. First of all, we need to figure out things on the pitch. We are lacking creativity, especially in midfield. We also need to improve as a group. Our group lacks the sticking together mentality. We have lots of problems. There's a lot of discussion. Every group has this sort of problem, but ours has this. Vanity is also an issue, and we need to stop this and just run on the pitch.
You see that last bit about vanity?
Oh yeah, one thing he said.
Go on.
We need to stick a goal inside our minds, focus on it and go forward. We need to be on the same page, and today some players have different objectives. There are players that just want to solve problems alone, and this is wrong. And then he also said about Oli, he's a great person, great coach. It's a new job. A young coach has his ups and downs, like every coach and every player has. But he's improving, and I'm sure he will improve a lot and help get where we want to be. All right.
You know what?
I think that last part, for instance, I think he's just trying to save it there to be like,
Nah. You know
I
what
said
that
something
last part?
positive. Go on.
You know what that last part?
Yeah.
I hope he meant that.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hope he genuinely meant that, and he wasn't trying to save it like he's saying.
Yeah.
But I do get a hint of that.
I fully don't get a hint of it.
Because
he's trying to save him. He's trying to save himself there. So when people say he was all negative, he's like, no, but I said this.
Do you know what the maddest thing? What stuck out to me there?
Yeah.
The vanity thing. Do you know why I find that crazy?
Yeah, go on.
This guy plays with Neymar, you know, bro. That's a sick. A man plays. Neymar's probably the most vain footballer on the planet.
But here's the thing.
So for 1 second, for him to see, for him to say that,
Yeah.
from the man up there, and you're not on. All right, Neymar can be vanity, yeah. But Neymar is a certified match winner.
That's the difference.
Do you get what I'm saying?
We fickle, as I've said this, we're all fickle to extent we're all fickle to extent as football fans, media personalities, players. If you are doing the business on the pitch, nobody cares about what's going on off the pitch. Nobody cares about being vain, anything, this and that. Pogba is the prime example of that. When Pogba was doing bits, when Oli came in, no one had an issue. No one was talking about his Instagram clips, his hair, what he's doing, him playing basketball, because footballers can't just, how do I put this? Footballers can't just have bad performances and get bad results. People always look for the reason behind it.
Yeah.
Some people just have a bad game.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People always go beyond that. It's just not your day.
Yeah.
So with him saying the vanity point, like you said, Neymar's a match winner. Imagine Neymar, if Neymar ever fell off, how much stick he would get. If he ever fell off from the level where he's at now. You get so much because of everything that's going on offside. Oh, it's because of this and that. That's why your form's dropped off. Even though he's been doing this from the beginning.
My man might go and be in a nightclub and get pictured with this and that, but next match is probably 2 goals, 2 assists.
This is what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But if it's not 2 goals, 2 assists, and he has a stinker against Liverpool, say, and they go out in the semi-final, it's because you was in the club.
Yeah.
Even though he's done that.
Yeah, do you get what
previously,
I'm saying? Even though man probably got you through that semi-final.
That's what I'm saying. People are like that. So yeah, with his what did you think of his comments, Stro, from the non-United standpoint?
I knew there was problems.
Yeah.
But when you break down the points that he's making, so obviously vanity was one of them, creativity is one of them. What was the other one? There's no togetherness.
No togetherness, yeah.
On the pitch and off the pitch. That's a massive problem.
It is a massive problem.
But when you break it down, so he's like, we've got people pulling in different directions, and I think he said like some of them want to sort it out individually, and that's not the right way to go. Like, when you hear that, so for example, if I'm managing a team and I'm hearing stuff like that, straight away there's no togetherness. There's no, I'll back you up on the pitch. We go to war together.
Yeah.
If you go get the ball, I'm going with you. You're hunting packs. There's none of that. It just seems like there's a massive separation in that change room where some of them clearly seem like the pro Oli, some of them clearly seem like they're not.
Yeah. And here's the thing with that, everything you've just mentioned there comes down to the manager.
Yeah.
That's the manager's job. If a dressing room is not together and a team is not together, that's on you. When he said there's no direction, it's because there's no captain of the ship. Everybody's literally just doing whatever they want.
So no direction, 100%.
No, zero.
It's down to the manager, 100%. But some of the points that he's making isn't just. So, for example, some of them want to sort it out by themselves. That's not a manager. Like, that's down to the players. And then when you start hearing stuff like that, you start questioning, well, wait a minute, what kind of characters have you got in that dressing room? Do you know what I mean?
I think...
Are they team players? Because straight away, and it sounds bad, I know he's ridiculously talented. When I hear that, my first thought is Martial.
See that? They're the two people that got mentioned when he's talking about vanity and things of that nature. Martial, Pereira. They're the two I've seen people mention the most across social media. When I heard people trying to do everything by themselves, I thought Pereira. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I was going to come on to him.
I know, I'm just saying in the dyke. That seems to be the common theme. Because obviously, because he's not said names, we don't really know.
Yeah, you know what he's talking about.
You know what the dangerous thing is as well with this? You have to remember, my man can't speak English. So... who's translated this?
That's a fair point, though.
This might have been translated wrong on purpose. I'm not saying it is. I'm not trying to defend no one.
Yeah.
Or it could just be misconstrued. Could be misunderstood.
Yeah.
Things get, when it's interpreted. If this ain't his interpreter, then I'd question half of it.
And this goes out to like everything that's wrong with the club. Is like, why would surely someone's like, everything's going bad, keep everything in house.
Yes.
I say this all the time, not even just with football. Anything can be dealt. If I have an issue with either I used to, we can deal with it in house. Once it becomes public knowledge, that's when everyone piles on. That's why social media is the worst. Because as soon as two people have a problem on social media, you get everyone retweeting, commenting on it, laughing at the jokes. Who's backing who? Deal with it in house. We know the house is a mess. Deal with it in house.
Back to Ollie, because, and I don't like always referring to Fergie. Yeah, but that's the template, innit? That's the standard. That's not coming out under Fergie.
It's not.
That's coming out in a dressing room with everyone sat down and a man saying his piece and he's getting it off his chest, and then the manager probably goes, "What have you got to say about it?"
That's true.
And then everyone will have their, and then it gets done, it gets squashed.
And then that's
do you know what I'm saying? But then he must feel like he has to do that because he can't do that. He can't say that in the changing room and get a positive reaction.
That's true.
So maybe that's his way. Because sometimes I could say something to you, and you might not hear it or you might not be feeling it. Yeah. But I know that if I say it in this place and then it gets relayed back to you 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 times, you might think about it.
Now, I fully understand that. Maybe it is. Maybe I should. Because we don't know why he said it. That is definitely a possibility. That he's like, this is my only outlet. And I understand that, because if I'm in a team and I'm in this situation and I can't relay that information in the dressing room or to the managers, and maybe this is the only way I get heard.
Frustrate that. You know, it's
he's
frustration.
Because his form's been good.
Yeah, so he's probably thinking.
So he could have easily shut up, continue playing well, and let everyone drown around him. But he's like, nah, like, this ain't right. This is not right. Go on.
But look at it from a different perspective.
Go on.
I think this has come from the club.
You reckon the club's done it?
Because what does it take to shine off, and what does it take the media's attention off?
How badly United are doing.
One, but what was the main talking point?
I think that emphasises it.
You reckon it's the transfer window on Pogba, etc.
No, one big thing that happened last week which got media attention everywhere. What was it?
What was it? I can't remember.
Woodward's house got attacked.
You reckon it's to do with that?
So for example, as a club, obviously I know this from experience, from dealing with people who work inside clubs, and you know what I mean. Yeah. Whenever you get an interview, one, the press pass has got to be checked, number one. Secondly, they've got to make sure that whoever's in the room doesn't, whatever's said, if it's a foreign player or not, it can't be misinterpreted to say something wrong. So you've got to have multiple. So you've got a translator in there, and then they get sent a copy of the actual interview itself, and that gets proof checked to make sure that nothing comes out which shouldn't be coming out. So if he's made them comments, that's 100% what he said. And the fact that it's been released means that it's had sign-off from the club. Now, I can only look at two reasons why this will get sign-off from the club. One, to take the shine off what's happened with the Ed Woodward situation, the lack of the transfer window, the fact that the fans aren't happy, and Or the second one, which is similar to that one, is maybe there's someone in the club that realises that United are in a bad position here, and wait a minute, if the players are talking about it, maybe it shines light on how bad it actually is inside the club, and maybe now more people are going to start paying attention to what's actually going on.
That's a fair point.
I think if that's done strategically, that's very poor strategy, because
our whole club is poorly run.
That's not good publicity, is it?
No, it's not.
But any negative. Publicity is good publicity.
But it's more.
No.
Not in this situation.
Because think about it. If it gets the end goal of whatever they're doing is trying to do it, then that's great publicity. So, for example, if that now forces you and forces United's hand to go and make a change, to go and do stuff in the transfer window, to go and change stuff in the background, then that helps.
But this is the thing, you're saying to make change with the club and background. That's nothing to do with what he's saying. That's not going to make no Woodward change. That ain't going to make no Glazers change. That ain't going to. The only thing that can change there is Ollie.
Yeah, I think it might open the eyes to the fans that believe it's all rosy and there's nothing wrong. That's what I think it will open his eyes to.
Right, yeah.
I think I agree with that. And I only thought of that now because you made them points. That's what people might realise, like, right, it's the Ollie out brigade. The Ollie out brigade is not going wild for no reason. If Fred is talking like this, Fred's not by himself. Fred's not the only person who thinks this. So surely, just common sense tells you we haven't won 3 games in a row all season. I don't think we've scored a goal since the 11th of January. Surely, they're just two terrible stats right there. Surely other players are thinking this is going wrong. But he's been the first to come out and say, obviously these players talk. Of course they do. But I'm just happy, for one, this was a Fred and wasn't a Martial or a Pogba. Because people will look at him, oh, they're bad team players. I've not heard no one say that about Fred. It's interesting. Because if this is Martial or Pogba, this is a whole different... If this is Pogba, this is national news for 2, 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
And they're bringing this out.
Weeks, bro. Every media outlet. Soonest, game out, McAtee,
This is the problem with him. But because Fred said it, it's like, all right, people were like, right, we've not heard Fred say much, and he doesn't seem that flamboyant type of character.
You see why no one said nothing? Because man are probably thinking, I ain't seen this brother do an interview.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Can he speak English? So for my man, if this be coming out of my man's mouth, it's like, yo, this must be like on his chest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not after the match like, yeah, well, you know, we play good today. You know what I mean? He's not doing an interview.
Good impression for
the accent. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing it because he can't speak. You get what I'm saying? Man can't actually speak English. So for this to be coming out, this is like from the heart and soul. Do you get what I'm saying? No. And you can't discredit him, card. My man's one of our players who's probably carried the season as far as it's been. Yeah, without him,
he's been a highlight. Yeah. In something that's very poor.
Without him, the season, you know what? I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and he said to me, "Right, Fred could probably get Player of the Year if you count out Rashford. Yeah, Fred could probably get Player of the Year." And I sat there and I thought, nah, and I thought, nah, yeah, for real. Yeah, do you get what I mean? I tried to fool myself into thinking, nah, there's someone else. You know what I mean?
This is Fred. Yeah, 1,000%.
If you're not counting Rashford, because obviously Rashford's has carried the team 100%.
In terms of his goals, because the goals are
just standout performance, just dragging us out a bit sometimes. Yeah. But he's been the same. But you see the difference with Fred? When he's dragging us, he's not the end product.
Yeah, that's why you don't see, because he was phenomenal. Even though we played poorly against you lot in large parts at Anfield, I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's when he's releasing the ball.
He had a great game.
So he's releasing it too, and then there. So if I do some incredible midfield work and then I pass it to the attacker, and then he just has a dead shot and goes in the keeper's hand, so gets overlooked, innit?
Yeah. So, and this is why this is why I'm talking about. I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts this has come from the club. What's the talk been this week? Paul Pogba, and he's going to go to Real Madrid. Suddenly then Fred comes out with an interview which no one knew he was doing, no one's heard anything about it. Suddenly he's talking about how people aren't pulling together, how there's vanity in the team and stuff like that. So if you hear that as a player and that's aimed at me, my first thought is, because he's not played, is I'm going to get back in that team, I'm going to prove a point to him and everyone. And then what happens club-wise, you get more value out of him because you're getting best performances out of him.
That's true.
And then when the transfer window does come, that puts extra 10, 15 million on his price tag.
I don't think Pogba's that type of player. Yeah. I think Pogba's blagging it. From when I seen him, he's got ankle injury and he's dancing at the wedding.
Yeah, don't get mistaken. If Pogba, what's it called? If Pogba comes back and gets anywhere near his level, United will make top 4. 1,000%. Yeah, I'm saying this right now. If Pogba comes back, say in February, so say March, and stays fit and produces his level, United will finish top 4. He could be the difference.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make is...
You don't agree with me, I told you.
I think McTominay coming back and Fernandes going up, who is essentially now, I think, is Pogba's replacement.
You think he's his... I see that.
Most 100%.
I want to think he's his addition, but I think you're right.
I think we've done... That's you see that transfer window? That is even more brilliant business now he's come out and said that. Now Pogba's come out and said, that's in our hands now, we have the card. Oh, so you want my man now? Yeah, we've got his replacement. Go on. Yeah. All right. What you paying me?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's even more brilliant business because I think he's his replacement. I think a McTominay coming back, a McTominay, a Fred, a Matic, you can pick from your holders there.
So to cut you off, I think a midfield of Fred, Fernandes and Pogba, that's the midfield.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is his head's not in it. For my man that's not true. To be playing, his head's talking about I want to go. You're not even playing, what you on about?
Yeah. His head's not in it.
You know what I'm saying?
So
for him to come out and say that, go.
His head's
by all
not
means,
in it.
Go and do Salon d'Or in Madrid. Yeah, go and find the best salon out there. Do what you want, bro. I'm not interested no more. That's disrespectful. Did he
actually come out and say that?
His comments are disrespectful.
Did he come out and say that this week?
Whether it's him or his agent, why is it coming out?
It'll be his agent.
I understand why his agent would say something.
Yeah,
like
but you see what I'm.
I understand. I'm gonna lie. I understand fully because his agent's interest is not Manchester United.
Because you know I honestly think?
Go on.
I honestly think he'll go to Madrid.
I think he... actually, you know why I don't think he'll go to Madrid? Depends who they decide to sign, because financial fair play has messed it up for everybody to the point where big players now can't move. Neymar wanted to move
But
from
I'm hearing
PSG.
Mbappe's already on the wraps there.
So if they sign Mbappe, they can't get Pogba.
They can't.
Same way they couldn't get Pogba because Hazard
They
was
might have to
there.
get rid of someone
No,
up there.
they can't.
Go on.
It's Real Madrid. They're backed by the Spanish bank.
They are backed.
Bank, the king.
Don't get it mistaken. They are
So-
backed. But if they really want, they made a bid. People forget this. They made a bid for Pogba in the summer, but it was a terrible bid.
Yeah, but you know what?
If they really wanted him, they would have come in with some serious money.
Check this. You know why I think they will get him?
Go on.
Because you know what I think will be in that Mbappe deal? Do
What?
you know who'll be in that?
Who?
I think Hazard's a part of that.
You reckon Hazard will go to PSG?
For financial fair play. I think
Makes
that'll whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean up. Yeah, you're not done great here. Yeah, go back over there, safe.
I
You know what I mean?
Well,
But
that's a
this is-
possibility. It's definitely a possibility.
No,
Trust me.
Bale.
Or Bale. Would Bale
That's
go
a
to
big-
France?
That's a big chunk off the wage bill.
Yeah, Bale makes sense.
That would
I would
figure
United
out
to
the-
get him on loan, but it is what it is.
that
In
would-
January.
I think financial fair play, that would sort it out, wouldn't it? Because it'd be a big chunk off the wage bill.
that's true. I'm
and
not
it'd be
exactly
a-
sure how it works, but yeah, it
It is,
definitely
it's
could
to do
work.
with- It's
Is
the
it
wage
wages?
bill as
Okay.
well. It's the whole package.
But from what I know about Real Madrid, there's and I mean,
Yeah, there's large-
Nah, I'm talking about lucrative sponsorships, which
I hear that.
are a huge chunk. Audi's one of them, massive. The kit deal with Adidas is the most in the world. So it's them, Barcelona, and then now us with the Nike deal. They're the three most lucrative ones.
Well, yeah, players getting away because people forget Neymar wanted to move from PSG in the summer and did everything, kicked up a fuss, refused to go on pre-season, didn't get his move because of
Do
financial
you know what
fair
it is
play.
with Pogba?
Go on.
I honestly think he's nowhere near as good as he thinks he is.
See, I disagree with that.
Pogba thinks he's Zidane. He's not there. He's not that player.
He's not Zidane.
No, but
I
he
don't want to make
thinks
it
he is.
Pogba. I can't. I
honestly
just
think-
think he's confident in his ability.
If
He
you
is, but
if you
he
had the
thinks
Pogba
he's-
if you had the Pogba from the World Cup, there's not many
Here's the thing,
midfielders
though.
that
People
that-
forget
that
this.
match
People
him.
blame him. Pogba's been a success everywhere he's been, club-wise, international-wise. He gets to us, and all of a sudden it's Pogba's fault. To me, that makes no sense.
No, but you see, all right then.
This guy's where's he not been a success?
Right, well, all right. Let
He's
me
been a
put it to you
success.
this.
Edwin, go on.
He's been a success, yeah?
Yeah,
At Juventus.
yeah,
Yeah? Mm-hmm. You know why a majority of his success at Juventus comes from?
Pirlo.
yeah. Pirlo,
Pirlo
having the
and,
midfield.
and another.
And Vidal.
You basically have a free role.
Yeah, that's what, and we should give him a free role because when we gave him a free role under Oli, this guy averaged a goal or assist every game. That run, what was it, like a 15-game run or whatever it was. This guy had I think it was like 8 goals and 4 assists in 15 games.
A free role in a 4-2-3-1 is different to a free role in a free at the back.
This is what I'm
five.
saying.
He was totally free.
Yeah,
at
but
Juventus.
what formation did Oli play when he first came in? He didn't play 4-2-3-1. He played 4-3-3. He played Majic, which is the Pirlo in that situation. He played Herrera. Well, obviously they're not the same, but the holding. Yeah, I'm obviously not saying the same. I'm saying he's the deep line one.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
had
yeah.
Majic, which is the deep line one. Pirlo was the deep line one, and then you had Herrera, which is the legs, which is the Vidal, and you gave him a free role. We did bits. People forget this guy. Yeah, that was it. He had 9. It was 9. Wait, it was either 9 assists or 9 goals, and of 3 the other way in like 15.
But you see where my problem is with him?
Yeah, go on.
He did bits. I am agreeing.
Yeah.
He was amazing because his head was in it.
I think his head was in it, number one. That's true. Obviously, we all natural human beings. So naturally, if you feel like you've been lied to, which seems to be the because people are taking the comments that have come out like he said him, so let's do that. He's saying, I've been lied to about this rebuild at United. I was lied to at the front. And yes, he has been lied to. Look what has happened since he has came in.
We can't say what he's been lied to. We can't say.
No. He's saying he's been lied to.
Yeah,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
We can't agree with that because we don't know what he's been told.
There's no way that they told him, all right, we're going to have Mourinho in. We're going to sign... No, all right, our net spend is going to be under 100 million for the next 2 years you're here. No chance. We're going to play you as a holding midfielder. I know facts. He wasn't promised, we're going to play you in a 4-2-3-1.
Maybe the midfielder
as a holding midfielder. No chance. You think we've built properly to aid this guy?
I'm not saying
No. I'm asking you though, innit? You think we built properly? This is what I'm saying. So that's why I don't put it on him. Because if he leaves, we're not in a... People act like when he leaves, we'll be in a better position. When we wouldn't be in a playing wise.
Potentially.
I don't think so.
With the money we get from him, bro,
we don't
could revolutionise our squad. We've already got his replacement.
We don't replace players, though. We know this. We don't replace players.
All right, then. Okay. Right.
We don't replace players.
And
that's a massive IF.
Yeah, no.
Capital letters and in bold. Yeah.
If that
I don't trust these guys. And the thing is, it depends on the manager. It depends. See, that's what I'm saying. It's all ifs and buts. If Pogba leaves and Pochettino comes in, different. I'm all for it. Trust me, as much as I'm a fan of Pogba, I want him to leave because he doesn't want to be here.
But do you know
if you don't want to be here,
do you know one thing I'll say then? Even everyone's on about Poch.
Yeah.
If you actually look,
I'm just using him as an example.
No. I'm hearing you. But if you look at what Ollie's done in terms of transfers, in terms of players he's got out, tactics and that, I'm not in it. But I sat down the other day and I look at all the players we had who man said were deadwood. Yeah. He's pretty much got rid of a lot of them.
That's true.
His transfers, what he's brought in. I'd say he's with the Fernandes now. He's very good transfers.
Here's the problem I have with Ollie before we move on and I get onto this. I agree that the transfers are good, but the transfers don't look good.
No, but that's what. That's what I just said. The tactics,
the transfers don't, and that's on Ollie. But the transfers I agree.
But this is what I'm saying.
I agree with the transfers
because this is my whole thing about Ollie. Ollie's never the be all and end all. To me, if he keeps on with these transfers, and bringing in these young players, and if as we said, it's all ifs and buts. If he's allowed to reinvest this Pogba money, or we sell Pogba, and then Poch comes in, that platform what Poch has is a lot better.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
That's what I'm getting at because I've never seen Ollie as a
long term guy.
Here's a question.
Go on.
Realistically, because what I'm gauging from this conversation, I'm genuinely intrigued.
Yeah.
How much do you think you're going to get for Pogba?
That's and that's what goes on before we move on. That's what goes on to my original point about financial fair play. The money that we want for him, I don't know if we're going to get.
No, it's not even that because it's like obviously Vils
we bought him for 100 mil. We're getting 100 mil.
That's what we.
Are you though?
Easily.
Yeah, but think about what you just said yourself.
I'm not saying he's not worth 100 mil. I'm looking at it like our team's willing to pay 100 million.
No, not even.
And the thing is, let's get mistaken. We're going to want more than 100 million.
No, I know.
We're going to want 150.
Yes, but exactly. But
I don't know if anyone's going to pay 150.
The card's in our pocket.
That's true.
The card is. I'm telling you, with us getting Fernandes now, that is an excellent.
But here's the
transfer.
thing.
The card's in our pocket.
I think his head can be turned.
Who's
Pogba? I've won that. If we got a serious operator in, i.e. Allegri, who had him at Juventus, he's staying.
No, I don't think he is.
He's staying 1,000%.
I think this is similar to the Ronaldo. But the Ronaldo was handled in a totally different way.
Yeah, even if
we said, you know what,
give us one more season.
And he did it, and he did his thing, and he didn't kick off. And do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's the caliber of the person as well. Because that's what I think that was. Yeah. I think he's probably been told, give us another season or two.
Which is a possibility.
So this is the point.
I
keep saying this before we move on.
But this is the point I'm making is, if you're a manager of a team, and you're seeing from the outside looking in all these stories of how he's disrupting the changing room and all the stuff that's coming out, and it right or wrong, it leads to Pogba's front door with some of the comments that are being made. I ain't going to pay 100 million for a player like that, regardless of how talented he is, regardless of what he could potentially do. You're not going to do it. And like you said, the financial fair play, it's like, I understand you paid 100 million for him, but I can't see it.
He's one of them you take a gamble like
no, that's what I'm saying. It's a massive risk. So there's talent-wise, only 3 clubs that can really make that risk.
Midfielder, because don't get me wrong, he don't play as a 10. He plays as a central midfielder. But his numbers when he's on job,
I agree.
When he's been on job. Even for United, he topped the list for everything playing out of position in a poor side. People, that's what I'm saying. Last year, people forget this. This guy topped. People called him a virus. This guy topped the list.
I know that.
So, I know you know that. So I'm just saying, offensively, he was our best player, and defensively, he was our best player. So I'm looking at it like you've been a success everywhere you've been. You've been to this complete S show that's been at United, and you're still putting up numbers.
But the point,
I know. Sorry to cut you off. I know if I put you in with the right talent around you, you are going to do bits.
Yeah, but
this is proven.
But the point I'm making is, with what I've just said, that only leaves 3 real big clubs, or big clubs that are going to be able to take that kind of gamble. So PSG is going to be one of them.
Definitely.
And it makes sense because he's French.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, if Zidane's there, French connection.
That's it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's why.
Zidane makes sense. And I think people forget. People forget that when they're like, why does he want to go to Madrid? I'm like, because Zidane's his hero. That's why.
Yes, Zidane wants him and Mbappe.
That makes sense.
He's going to get them.
He does, but then at the same time, from watching Real Madrid, notoriously is Bale's got similar characteristics to what Pogba's got off the pitch, and they don't like Bale. There's a reason they don't like Bale.
That's true. But Real Madrid fans are fickle anyway because they booed Ronaldo. They booed Ronaldo. But I get what you're saying, but even Bale, hasn't hit before he got there, hadn't hit the heights of what Pogba's hit.
But this is what I'm saying. The only reason I think that he's going to go, and I think we have the upper hand, it's Real Madrid. Zidane wants him.
Yeah.
The reason for Zidane going last time was he weren't getting what he wanted.
I hear that.
He's going to get Pogba, and we have the upper hand.
Let's see.
It's Pogba and Mbappe. I honestly think if he gets them two,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap for everybody.
Because he's I was seeing this the other day about Madrid. If you look at what they've been doing, they're secretly building again.
They're going again.
It's small though. It's bit by bit. You know, with these younger players.
Yeah, they're going again.
They're hard players.
They're going again, as you would expect.
They've got that Vinicius, that Rodrigo, this Mbappe. Mbappe will be Benzema's replacement.
Mbappe
Pogba will be Modric's replacement. Or do you know what I mean?
Put it this way, Pogba goes to Madrid, he'll do bits.
He will do.
We'll move on now. Bernardo Silva's comments. So I'll let you take this away, show, because this is like a segment on the show, in it, where you just bury Pep in it. So let's go.
So this is obviously, he was speaking to Sky Sports. I think we got to a point last month where we gave up a bit. This is all Bernardo Silva.
This is his comments. Start that again. Sorry, I thought that was you talking.
That's what I said.
I thought it was you.
No, this is Bernardo Silva speaking to Sky Sports. I think we got to a point last month where we gave up a bit too soon, and that's why we're 28 points or something behind now. We shouldn't have done that, and it wasn't on purpose. It was in our head. Everyone was disappointed. So last year we were notoriously known for getting late goals and nicking winners, and we've seen Liverpool do that, and things aren't going our way this season. It's difficult because we're a team used to winning. Last season we won everything in England. It hurts because it's the start of a new season. You always want to go for the Premier League. It's the main competition. No one expected us to be this far behind Liverpool in January. Here's my problem with it.
Go on, here we go. Pep about to get it. Go on.
It just comes down to everything that we've been saying.
Yeah.
They're far too cocky.
Cockiness. I said it. Please go back and see the show. I feel like it was like the third or fourth show. We're on about 13 shows now. Said it long time. They were way too cocky. I went past the ground. It was a dead celebration, but you were all too cocky, man. You can't be that.
Nah, I hear what you're saying.
Trust me, man.
With my comments on that, you know what it really reminds me of? Like, not in the same sense, but like when Wenger was at Arsenal in his pomp, and United just used to kick him off the pitch, and he used to complain about it. It's that type of thing. Like
him now.
Yeah, like that type
I get
of complaining. Not so obviously it's not the same thing, but whinging. Like, oh, we getting beat, so our heads are gonna go down. Just complaining about it, moaning about it. It's like, get on with it. You know what I mean? Like, this is Premier League football.
So this is me being.
Where's your fight?
So this is me being completely brutally honest as a Liverpool fan. Liverpool are notoriously known, apart from this season, for bottling it. Right or wrong?
Big facts. No for bottling it.
If they would have just put a bit of a run together, you know, tied the shoes a bit tighter, you know, knuckled down, put up a bit of a fight, they'd have probably put a lot of pressure on us. They've made it so easy for us because they're coming out with these utter bull excuses.
Thank you for cleaning that up.
Ridiculous excuses.
This might be the first non-swearing show.
What on earth is he talking about because Liverpool get late goals? What are you on about?
Do you know what that sounds
you used
like?
to get late goals. What planet are you living
Do you
on?
know what that sounds like?
Goals,
you know what that's like? That's like you know that's a real that's a really big insight to me. That's like a primary school playground mentality.
It's childish.
They do that. You know what I mean? Like, we used to do that, and you know what I mean?
Whinging, like I stated, that's what it sounds like.
My dad's bigger than yours. You know,
a lack of fight, which I'm so surprised to hear from talented players and serial winners.
You know what it's like? But to me, it almost seems like they just thought, we're that good.
Yeah,
it's gonna work.
So it's just gonna happen.
It's gonna work. We've got Aguero.
Yeah, but
we've got De Bruyne. But we've got Sterling. But if you look at Aguero this season, Aguero's not Aguero no more. I've said this on the previous. Do you get what I mean?
Even Sterling, he's not falling off, but his form hasn't been as hot as it has been.
Do you get what I mean?
His form hasn't been the same since he got into that with Joe Gomez.
You reckon Joe Gomez riled him?
Are you joking?
No, I'm asking you the question. Elaborate.
Did you not see what happened? Man walked into England and tried beefing it up.
I hear that.
Like,
I hear about
Sterling,
that.
like, you ain't built like that.
Do you know what I think? No.
Go on.
You know what I think's hurt them a lot?
Go on.
Arteta.
Look at Arteta. That's a very interesting one. You think Arteta's leaving?
Arteta.
Because and then that is coming on to a point I was about to make. So, for example, and obviously you aren't going to want to talk to Liverpool fans, but if you were to talk to Liverpool fans, the one thing we were always saying last year was no matter what interview it was, no matter how well they were doing, Pep would always talk about us. So, and when the Amazon documentary came out, there's a clip where he's like, I'm worried about that front three. I'm concerned about Liverpool. I'm concerned about Klopp. Yeah. So it's like, so we've been in his head since he first got into England. Since Klopp first came, he's been in his head because he knew what Klopp was going to do, right? But if I'm a player and I've won everything domestically, and I hear my manager come out and continuously talk about, well, Liverpool are the best team in the world. Liverpool are the best team in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get wound up. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, mate. Yeah, they won the Champions League. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Phenomenal achievement. We won everything in England. How were they the best team in the league? We beat them.
Yeah, I hear you.
We drew and then we beat them. Yeah. Until they actually beat us at our turf, they can't be considered that. That's how I take it. It trickles down as a result, and then the one person you lose is the one person that's the link between manager and players is Mikel Arteta.
So that's what you think's happened with Arteta? You think
that's one big thing, massive thing.
So you think, no, I'm asking you to elaborate on, because this is a great point on them losing Arteta. You think Arteta was the link between Pep and the squad, and that's what they've lost?
Do you know what it is? It's almost like a family tree, yeah?
Okay, pyramid. Yeah.
So you got your Pep at the top, yeah? Under that, you got your Arteta.
Yeah.
Last season, who's under Arteta?
Go on.
Company.
Ah, right.
Do you understand?
That's a great point.
So you've now lost. All right, then we like to talk about teams, and we like to say your centre back, your centre mid, and your strikers is your backbone.
Yeah.
That's their spine. They've got the head,
which is Pep.
You've got the Pep. They've got the back.
Yeah, which is Arteta there. And you have company underneath.
Yeah, do you get what I mean? So you've lost.
So you've lost like your second and third generals.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, when I, obviously with the team that I want, completely different, not under any amount of pressure or anything like that, but I've got my captain.
Yeah.
But then I've got someone who I've got two people I class as changing room leaders, leaders on the pitch, who I know if I want a certain message being told, I'll tell them one thing in the team talk. I'll then pull one of them aside and say, listen, we need this. You need to reiterate this. Yeah. And they'll go and do it for me. So, for example, Pep will go to Arteta.
All right.
There's this. I need you to talk about this. Who's he then going to relate it to?
It's company.
And then company, being the leader that he is making sure that whatever he wants doing gets done. I.e., you work hard first and foremost. What's Pep notoriously known for? Whenever they lost the ball, 5 seconds you had to go get it back.
Yeah, drill sergeant.
We ain't seen that.
Yeah.
Why?
No one relaying the message and
Thank you.
Because see, company is like to them players there. Yeah. He's like, you have to think he's been there since they first got took over.
Yeah.
So he's like he's like your big brother.
Yeah, he's their legend, the guy the Troy Deeney at Watford.
Yeah, but he's like your big brother, your protector, you know what I mean? He's all them things in one. Mm-hmm. So even if someone's got a problem and they're not feeling right and their head's not in it, you probably go to company.
Rather than a Pep.
So then check this, you probably go to company, who probably goes to Arteta. And then it probably gets back to Pep. So it's a two-way thing. So the messages to them.
You're saying he's lost it. This is great, by the way. Genius. Like, look, because I didn't look at it like this before you used to explain it, but him, because I only looked at him losing Arteta in terms of tactical. That's why I was like, elaborate.
So for example,
like he's lost his two generals.
Yes. For example, to flip it on its head as well and to put it into a more perspective that you'll better appreciate is, you've got Fergie.
Yeah. You know what? I was about to say that.
So you've got Fergie, right?
Last point on this
stuff that's going wrong in the changing room, or stuff that people aren't really happy about. They're not going to go directly to Fergie, not all the time. They're going to go to certain people they know where it will get back to Fergie. You'll go to the Ryan Giggs, you'll go and speak to the Gary Nevilles. You'll go speak
before
to
that it was the Brian kid.
No. So then they go to Roy Keane, because he's the leader in that changing room, the company-esque. Then he goes to Brian Kidd, the Mikel Arteta-esque. And then it then gets back to Fergie.
Oh, right.
See, when we lost Brian Kidd, that was a big loss for us, you know.
Because Keane, I've read both his autobiographies. He's like one of my favourite United players of all time. And he mentioned that leaders, people like your Steve Bruce's, things of that nature, Schmeichel.
Why do you think City got Brian Kidd?
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Man's an old man, you know, but City got Brian Kidd because they know. You telling me he has a big success at us, goes and does his own thing for a few years, and then he's probably in a bit of a wilderness, and he gets picked up by City out of the blue, and then all of a sudden, then City have some big success. Come on, man!
I think people do underestimate your twos, and you're talking about obviously company's not free, but the generals around you, your number twos, your coaching staff, your captain on the pitch, the manager on the pitch, people relaying messages.
Because this is the big thing which no one really thinks about or no one really takes notice is, for example, it's company was there from the beginning, right? So he knew the value of the club. He loved the club. He loved the city. He knew what the expectations were. If you're a new player coming in, so for example, we had, and I've heard this because I listened to Carragher's podcast, we had Carragher, Gerrard. First day in training, they were setting the tempo, setting the example. You're going to make it at Liverpool, you've got to work hard, and we're going to make it difficult for you because we want to make sure you can make it. So, for example, that's what company would have been doing. Company would have been make sure, regardless of whoever you thought you were, regardless of whatever your transfer fee was, regardless of how much you might have been considered in Spain, Italy, Germany, they would have made sure. They would have made sure that first and foremost you worked hard for that team and you brought something to that team. That's the exact reason why De Bruyne never got into Chelsea, because they had Lampard and Terry, and they made sure that the people were coming in, whether you were young, whether you were experienced, you had to bring something to the team.
You had to come take that level, innit?
Exactly. So then we've got it now with Van Dijk, Henderson. People, they might not class Henderson as one of the best players in the world because he's not technically. No. But as a leader, if you come into Liverpool, you've got to do something.
You've got to set
the example.
Yeah, I hear that.
And
they've not got that at City anymore.
This is probably why it's not working for City, because all right, then who's the next general now? It's probably Fernandinho, but he's playing out of position,
so
low on confidence.
Yeah, that's
so how can you, if I'm the younger guy and I'm low on confidence, I can't go to you as the older guy and you're low on confidence.
Yeah, and I'm playing out of position.
Yeah, no, but not even that. It's, for example, if you're telling me something and I know for a fact you've made 2 mistakes in the previous game, I'm going, wait a minute, look at yourself.
Yeah.
And then the issues start.
It can't work.
Because one thing about Fernandinho, before he got moved back, he was consistently one of their better players, just like 7 out of 10 every game. You could guarantee on it.
If you probably put him back in defensive mid tomorrow for the rest of the season, he probably goes back to that.
He would go back to that. He probably.
Do you get what I'm saying?
But here's what it is. But that's a great point that you built there. So before we end the show, quickly, Sheffield United, Champions League contenders. What are we saying?
I want.
Definitely.
He can make it.
Definitely. Do you know one thing I don't want him to do?
Go on.
And I think he might. Go on. Because it's how football works. He's going to improve. He's going to want to buy players and improve and this and that. And I hope it doesn't change
what
he's got going on.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to improve if he wants to go to that next level.
Because they are literally. I think you have to do it smart. That's what you have to do. Invest in the right areas. Don't do it like, I remember Tony Pulis at Stoke, and Stoke was Stoke. Everyone knew what Stoke were like. And then he bought players and was trying to change it.
Yeah.
And he didn't really, I think he bought Shaqiri. He
so
bought
it was
a couple
like,
other ballers. It didn't really work.
Do you know one
Obviously,
thing
it's not the same level, but go on.
Is they could do with a good number 9.
Oh, if they get a 9.
If they get a quality 9,
if they got
that
a quality
would
9,
be like that. If they get a quality 9, I'm telling you, they're a problem because they create a lot of chances.
If I was,
because just before you cut you off, they are only 2. I didn't realise this. They're only 2 points off Chelsea in 4th.
Yeah,
but
literally 2 points.
For example, Bournemouth look like they're struggling big time. If Bournemouth go down, I'm going for Callum Wilson.
And I'm Callum Wilson's the guy.
I think they can attract someone else.
No, but I'm talking about someone.
Definitely with Champions League, they could get a player of. So when we talk about players going in the shop window, they could get a player of that ilk, that sauce, takes them to the next level.
But saying that, kind of goes back to the point at the start of the show: a Wilson and a player like that up front.
True, because they play with the 2 up top still.
Yeah.
He's got to have his scouting head on. But salute to Sheffield United because they out here doing bits. You feel me?
He could get manager of the season.
If they finish 4th, considering they came up from the Championship,
I think if they finish 5th,
I tell you,
if you finish from getting promoted and finish 5th, get your team into Europe. Manager of the season.
I'm playing good football as well. So even like they play bad football.
But you know he's not going to get manager of the season.
It'll be Klopp. Especially if he's going beaten, which I can't argue with.
He needs some sort of mention.
Definitely needs a special mention.
For me, right now, the 2 manager of the seasons is Wilder and Klopp. Yeah. If Wilder wins it, I don't mind because of what of a job he's done.
Yeah, fair enough.
And this is coming from a Liverpool fan. I love Klopp, but the problem is the fact we've only dropped 2 points. I just don't see him winning.
You know what he'll probably get? He'll probably get like they'll probably wait for a month where they do good, win 3 games, and manager of the month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give him manager.
Give him like a golden manager.
I didn't realise it too often.
Phenomenal.
He has done. People are sleeping on less because obviously we're not spoke about it often enough. Like he is doing an incredible.
Do you know both of their They've got 3 centre backs. Do you know both of their left centre back and their right centre back have created more chances than some people's attacking players?
Because of how well drilled they Diaz. So when them
Drilled.
two go,
Differently.
the two come back. So, for example, Lundstrom drops back a bit. Is it Fleck drops back a bit? Because then you've got Baldock, you've got Basham goes, you've got Egan goes. Words cannot describe how well drilled
You know
that
what they
team
remind
is.
me of? Like, you know, when you were young and you play Sunday League, they just
Yeah.
remind you of those exceptional teams who you could tell were coached.
They don't have special players, but they're just
They're
great.
just
The coaching
experienced. They're
is
just
just
experienced in their
different,
positions,
yeah.
and they know how to win a game.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're probably thinking, wow, we've got better players, but their coaching
team.
is next level. He needs to be, and this is one for the FA, he needs to be looked at.